Right now, your feet are accelerating toward a pitch-black cosmic sphere faster than the speed of light. And there is no brake pedal in physics. A black hole is not an oversized vacuum cleaner sucking up rogue asteroid dust in an untidy corner of space. It is a catastrophic, permanent puncture in the fabric of four-dimensional reality itself, where space and time literally swap jobs, where the fundamental laws of thermodynamics wave a white flag of surrender, and where your immediate future is no longer tomorrow morning. It is a single, infinitely crushed mathematical point. Astrophysicists love to draw elegant chalk circles on university blackboards and collect prestigious research grants, while completely ignoring the terrifying logistical reality that if you slipped past its boundary, your biology would be stretched into subatomic fettuccine before your brain could even process the visual feed. Before we push the thrusters past the point of no return, make sure your emergency cognitive seatbelt is fastened, and grab your complimentary cognitive paper towels to wipe down the impending existential dread. Hit that subscribe button as it fuels our vessel to go on such journeys. Welcome to the Space Traveler's Log. Before you even get close enough to touch the black hole, you have to survive the most violent neighborhood in the known universe. Surrounding the central shadow is the Accretion disk, a swirling, churning maelstrom of crushed planets, asteroid debris, and superheated plasma spinning at 99% the speed of light. Think of it like dropping a whole watermelon into an industrial diamond blade kitchen blender running at 3 billion RPM. Trillions of tons of matter smashed together at relativistic velocities, generating friction temperatures exceeding millions of degrees Celsius, and blasting out lethal sheets of hard X-rays and gamma radiation. It is the cosmic equivalent of trying to check your morning emails while standing directly inside a commercial steel blast furnace during a lightning storm. If your vessel does not possess God-tier electromagnetic deflection shielding, you aren't falling into a black hole. You are being vaporized into glowing microwave popcorn 500,000 miles before you even reach the front door. You survived the cosmic blender. Cute. The real physics nightmare is just getting started. As you drift past the glowing plasma storm, the darkness below begins to swallow the horizon, and you cross a bizarre optical threshold called the photon sphere. At this precise mathematical boundary, gravity is so violently intense that light itself cannot travel in straight lines anymore. It is bent into perfect circular orbits. Photons emitted from stars behind you are caught in a gravitational roundabout, circling the void like frantic sports cars trapped on an infinite asphalt track. This creates a visual distortion that would completely break human sanity. If you hold a flashlight and point the beam directly forward, the light travels around the curvature of the black hole, wraps around the back, and strikes you directly in the back of your helmet visor. Imagine sitting in traffic on a Monday morning, looking into your rearview mirror, and seeing yourself staring back from 5 cars ahead. Except in deep space, it's your own skull floating across the void. Every star in the universe behind you is warped into 2 distorted, glowing halos encircling a sphere of pure pitch-black nothingness. Looking at the back of your own head across empty space? That's your brain's polite warning to hit the emergency thrusters, while you still have thrusters to hit. Now, Einstein's general relativity fractures reality into 2 completely irreconcilable perspectives. Imagine you brought a co-pilot along for the mission, but they were smart enough to park their ship at a safe distance outside, watching your descent through an optical telescope. To your observer outside, your descent looks like a frozen movie reel. Because immense gravitational mass stretches the fabric of space-time, your clock runs slower and slower relative to theirs. As you approach the dark boundary, they watch your ship shift deep red due to gravitational redshift, dim into invisible infrared, and finally freeze in place forever. To the rest of the universe, you never actually cross the line. You become a permanent, frozen digital screenshot, plastered onto the sky for eternity. Back on Earth, Millions of years tick by in minutes. Continents collide, oceans evaporate, the sun expands into a red giant, and human civilization turns to forgotten dust. While inside your cockpit, your wristwatch is ticking normally, one casual second at a time. It's like waiting in line at the DMV. Except everyone outside the building lived and died through 3 distinct ice ages, while you took 2 sips of lukewarm coffee. 1 second for you. An entire universe dying of old age outside your window. From your internal point of view, there is no dramatic brick wall, no glowing neon finish line, and no physical barrier. You glide silently across the event horizon, the boundary where the escape velocity of space exceeds 300,000 kilometers per second, faster than the speed of light. Crossing this line is like paddling a small wooden canoe down a calm river that suddenly turns into Niagara Falls. If the river current is rushing toward the drop at 60 miles per hour, but your maximum paddling speed is only 10 miles per hour, paddling backward doesn't save you. It just exhausts you right before you go over the edge. The moment you pass the event horizon, spacetime itself is cascading inward, faster than light can travel outward. Firing your most powerful fusion engines outward does not slow your descent. In fact, in a cruel twist of relativistic mathematics, accelerating your engines actually causes you to hit the center faster by adding energy to your trajectory. It's like trying to cancel a mistaken reply all email after you hit send. The harder you frantically press the escape key, the faster the disaster accelerates. The door didn't just lock behind you. The doorway itself ceased to exist in 4-dimensional space. Once inside the horizon, the universe performs its most horrifying geometrical magic trick. Space and time completely swap coordinates. Out in normal space, you have complete freedom of movement in the 3 spatial dimensions. You can step left, right, jump up, or walk backward, but you are pulled helplessly forward along the temporal dimension toward tomorrow morning. Inside the event horizon, the singularity at the center is no longer a physical place in space. It is a moment in your future time. Trying to avoid falling into the singularity is mathematically identical to trying to avoid next Tuesday. You cannot dodge a date on the calendar. No matter which direction you look, turn, or steer, every single spatial coordinate in the universe now points in one single direction, straight toward the center. It's like realizing your dreaded Monday morning work presentation isn't a room you can choose not to enter, but an inevitable tick of the clock that arrives whether you want it to or not. You aren't falling toward a destination. You are careening toward an inescapable appointment with your own extinction. As you plummet deeper into the dark funnel, the gravitational gradient becomes so steep that gravity stops pulling on your body as a single object. If you are falling feet first, your boots are just 6 feet closer to the center than your head. In normal everyday life on Earth, that tiny distance is completely unnoticeable. But near a stellar mass black hole, the gravitational pull on your feet is millions of times stronger than the pull on your shoulders. At the exact same time, the gravitational lines converging toward the central point pinch your left and right shoulders inward toward each other. You are being violently stretched vertically like warm bubblegum, while simultaneously being crushed horizontally like an aluminum soda can in an industrial hydraulic press. Astrophysicists gave this agonizing physical process a surprisingly casual name: Spaghettification. Your titanium hull snaps like dry toothpicks, your spacesuit tears, and the molecular bonds holding your biological cells together are shredded into an ultra-thin, single-file string of individual carbon atoms cascading through the dark. Who knew your high school physics teacher wasn't joking when they said gravity always wins in the end? At the very bottom of the gravitational abyss sits the singularity, a point of infinite density, infinite spacetime curvature, and zero physical volume. All the mass of millions of collapsed stars crushed into a space smaller than a single subatomic quark. Here, general relativity and quantum mechanics collide head-on and completely collapse into nonsense. The mathematical equations divide by zero, and the foundational laws that govern chemistry, thermodynamics, and cause and effect dissolve into pure gibberish. It's like running your computer's operating system until every line of code crashes into a permanent blue screen of death, except the crash is happening to reality itself. Does space end like a cliff? Does the core punch a wormhole through the multiverse? Or does time itself shatter into static like a broken television? Modern physics has no answers left. Your atomic particles reach the singularity, their information is encoded onto the holographic boundary, and your journey reaches its final mathematical punctuation mark. Nothing escapes. Not light, not sound, not memory. For thousands of years, humanity looked up at the night sky and convinced ourselves that the cosmos was an orderly, predictable playground built for us to measure and conquer. Yet, sitting silently in the dark hearts of every galaxy across the cosmos are these absolute abysses, reminders that the universe is not obligated to make sense to human primates, that there are places where our logic shatters, where time turns into a one-way cul-de-sac, and where human curiosity meets its absolute, irreversible limit. We drew lines between the stars and called them eternal cosmic highways. The universe just called it a one-way street with no exit ramps. Drop a comment below letting me know. If we could build a probe capable of surviving the singularity, what do you think is waiting on the other side? Hit that subscribe button, give the video a like. Log entry closed. See you on the next ascent.